Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. I'm your host, Sir Stephen Topham at the third at your service. We're going to be talking about checking reviews for 2024, obviously. The main one we always deal with, right? A lot of people, as I stated in my long podcast yesterday, that a lot of things are going downhill for the North Norfolk Railway in general, and you're ending up with bad reviews. A lot of people are start picking up the signs, right? We are going to talk about this calmly and cool, right? Right, like I stated before, bad management makes a bad railway, right? But then people are lying to you on your reviews. Now, how can I absorb this for you in one perspective? Right, Mrs. X, whoever's in charge, right, she made a headline that will tip your iceberg upside down and realize it's all realistic. Stay away or be prepared to be disappointed. The headline that triggered nearly everybody's eyes. This is March 2024, right? She, he, foresight, she found it was a complete and utter rip-off, right? A lot of people saying the railway is a complete utter rip-off, right? I trust the customers. I trust the reviews that come through that make the exception to say, look, it is a complete rip-off, right? Because you're not gaining the money you want, you're not getting the respect you want. The management are just a complete waste of space, in my opinion, because it is, my opinion, is going to help them in the end because they're going to think twice. They're going to use their from their instinct to their thinking. So when they think, they're going to use their instinct to think, and think makes the action. Right? Right. Let me explain this, right? And I'm going to put this in black and white because this is going to be a very short podcast. Right? This this customer made it quite clear. Stay away or be prepared to be disappointed. That is a good headline, right? The, the newspapers are not helping the situation. Not even the posters on Facebook, not helping the situation. The Friends of the North Norfolk Railway are not helping because they're privatised, right? The North Norfolk Railway PLC on Facebook is not helping. Why? Because bad reviews give you how much the railway has been disappointed. Don't be afraid to be disappointed because the customers are telling you how they feel and how they want respect back. But when somebody says to you, stay away or be prepared to be disappointed, right? Because that is the boundary. They're telling you instantly, right? I find that quite funny because this is what happened in the end. I did completely like this review, and I want people to say that I'm monitoring all their TripAdvisors, all the Google reviews, all the Facebooks, the whole full whack. I don't discriminate. I want to help people as much as I can, right? So when somebody tells the whole community to stay away or be prepared to be disappointed, what a good headline, right? Because this individual has been bloody dead honest on her headline of the actual comment, right? But what a complete and utter rip-off as her first sentence, right? Made it quite clear and crystal to tell you lot out there, stay away from the North Norfolk Railway or be prepared to be disappointed. Because I have seen a lot of reviews that do come up clear and crystal and it makes the staff think clearly, that makes the management think overboard because they have to think before they do, right? We all have the way of good way of understanding what people's needs are, not wants. So when the customers need something, when they go on that platform, they don't want the lecture for the porters or the guards. Just when I say this, because this is going to hit you, right? Right, she also stated, or he, or for such she, whoever's on the other end of that computer, said you would think they would make a bit of an effort, as it was advertised as an Easter special. My ad. This is why she's saying she's trying to tell you they should make a bit more of the effort as they advertised it as an Easter special. What do you get when she said it in her first sentence? She said, "What a complete and utter rip-off." Why? I'm taking responsibility of the management's actions. Why? Because I want you to feel like you are got to be realistic, right? Right? Then she quoted, however, we paid certain amount of money, which I would not state about the price, but I know exactly how much it's gone up to, right? For our tickets, and there was nothing special for the children at all. So the Easter special was a load of bullshit. You know, I take that and break it down for you to understand this is not a joke. You think this is all a joke? No. When the main headline says stay away or be prepared to be disappointed, right? It's all clear crystal, right? And when that all said and said, there's supposed to be a treasure hunt, but it wasn't clear until after we had been on the train, right? Everybody should know this by now. This, right? The staff, this is another one, this is another actual sentence. He said, or he or she, the staff just to play at trains and are not interested in general public. Now, can you see how they cover their tracks? But when I read it between the lines, I get the customer's point of view straight away because the headline tells me all. I got BS on this, alright? So then I can find something better to do with that sort of money. Correct, right? The person behind that computer did the exact review that Graham H, who was replying to all of this, Graham H was a bullshitter, right? You want something good that will do, regardless. He said, "Oh, we done this is the 19th century. Tickets were valid. It's the ultimate blah blah blah." Going down the BS line, as they call it, for me, I break down what the customers want, not what the management want or the North Norfolk Railway want, because they don't see the bigger picture. So they say, like Graham H says, many thanks for visiting and for for your review. We are sorry to hear that you missed the children's trial. What a load of BS! Because that was if it was stated and it was set. Don't when you plan something, don't mess up, right? So the reviews that you get from customers are very important indeed, right? So this was Graham H written the very good article, but he also messed up big time, right? So in the end of the day, when you plan something beforehand, mediocre, always make sure everything plans out the way the customers want it, need it. Because in the day, money brings in finances for keeping the railway running. But in the day, when somebody complains to this, I have read all the reviews. Don't get me wrong, I don't bullshit, right? ending up with a bad publicity. So Graham makes think he can get away with what he's written, right? The bigger problem with the management, they're not always seeing it from another angle. They only seen it from the money. The money is not always a financial issue here. The problem is when it's a special occasion or a special event that you really want on the line. I want you to have the best day of your life, right? A best day that you can go up there and feel comfortable. You want to be in a position that you're going to be safe up there environmentally and publicly because you don't want to be publicly humiliated, right? Norfolk Rugby just done that mistake, done that damage. They publicly humiliated themselves because they can't be trusted. So when the eyes and the ears give out the clues and the answers, right? I want people to understand. Oh, Graham H. written all of this, right, on the 1st of April to 2024. And bang, what happens? The person that went out that day, or in Easter, she made it quite clear. Stay away or be prepared to be disappointed. Because, I'll be honest, it was Easter, it was supposed to be a fun, right? Because it was Easter Friday, Easter Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, right? While the competitors, right, around, right, it's not just the North Norfolk Railway we have to consider of. So, when you look at the North Norfolk Railway today, are you getting the result you want? The answer is just proving my point. No, you're not. Stay. So when somebody tells you to stay away or be prepared to be disappointed, you're gonna get what the North Norfolk Railway's thrown at you because they just want money in the end. So when she stated it in her quote, however, we paid a certain amount of money for our tickets. There was nothing advertised on it, nothing special for the children at all. So there's supposed to be a Twitter hunt. So the North Norfolk Railway screwed up Easter, right? Okay, are you going to get that in the other, in what you will call other special events? The answer will be yes, because they're after more money and not realizing it's not the money anymore. You want the customers to be proud of you or be established with you and say, look, we can do better? No, better net, better, better late than never, but you screwed up. So what happens when the North Norfolk Railway ending up feel like, where did we go wrong? They don't think. When they do it on the internet, they try to hide it up, cover it up, rub it under the carpet. I'm now clearing up all their mess. So when they say, when you want or you need, when you go on there, it's not like coming on a bus, go to Sheringham or in that direction, and then you go on that railway. You're paying the money to get what was included in the package. The package is what you're destroying. Right? I totally agree with the community on this side. Always, because I'm backing them up and saying when somebody says stay away and be prepared to be disappointed, that's a good headline. Because it is. Since the 1st of January, February, going into the season, the railway itself failed on the community. You're not seeing it because a lot of community that has picnics in the garden, let's say picnics, let's say going out on a picnic, as example, on somewhere else, right? And they hear the steam train, they hear the DMUs, they hear everything, and then you're ending up with the biggest question of all. And it's just been answered for you. So, what is the management doing with the railway? screwing it up. Let it. Because in the day, it's in black and white. Because it's already been said. I'm prepared to acknowledge people's comments. I acknowledge what their needs are. I need to start prioritizing on budgeting the prices cheaper. You're not going to get anything to do at the moment because the North Norfolk Railway wants big money, big results, but they're not going to get the big result because they lost it all. So if you realise the railway has been like, um, what do we do with this railway? This is what the management wants. And the management are trying to think of this through all the way through, like a left, right, and center. And they're going through anything they can master, right? They try and help you as much as they can to the best education they were given, right? The management and the admin team are not going to be bothered about you guys. This is why I said the message has come clearer thanks to this Mrs. X or Mrs. X, and she made it quite clear and said, stay away or be prepared to be disappointed. Because they do it in Christmas, they do it in Easter, they do it in Halloween, and they do it on the Special Dad's Army specials and the 1940s weekend. And then you're ending up with the alcohol job, which is where I said the alcohol is another source, right? Right? Okay, people go on an off Norfolk Railway to drink alcohol and they get all the money, blah, 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 going in the line. And then it's not what you need, it's what the customers need. But you've got to balance it out to get it right. You can't just establish and acknowledge that you are in the wrong, the North Norfolk Railway are in the wrong, because they've been reviewed as the bad railway this year. This is March 2024. This has been established and have been acknowledged that if you want to do something better with the money, which I want to give you a cheaper fare, train fare as you like to call it, don't pay 74 quid. No way. It's ridiculous. It's not right. Don't advertise something and then you're ending up not doing it. Because sometimes you may end up thinking there's more to it, right? This is why I said to people appreciate stuff when it's given to them, right? Yes, I understand the community side of it because I work hard. I may play hard, but I work hard, day and night, to make sure you stay alert and realise why why now that one person out of the whole community, 1 out of 8 billion, starts to click and realise stay away or be prepared to be disappointed. What a good headline! Because sometimes that could go in the newspaper with a North Norfolk Railway as the picture, and that will shut them all down. Why? Because somebody accidentally put it all in place, put the missing link I need. So the thing is, the best way to get that railway back on track, don't accept it as a PLC because you're not going to get nowhere. So they still got their Facebook running because there's bad management, right? So events. What do you want in the event, right? We all talk about events, like seriously, right? When people look into you or look into this, they will actually say, "Oh, right, yeah, right, we got this and this, right, right." During the special events, we normally have Dad's Army and other engines, rails and ails is what I think they call it under, and vintage transport, etc., etc. Right? Overall, there's a lot of problems, right? When they lose the event, they build a new one, right? You've got the steam back to the 40s, which is normally a popular one, but very good money making one, right? But deep down, you feel like you lost something behind, and you always will do, and it drives a lot of people nuts. Excuse my French, but it doesn't. And then when you're looking at the bigger picture, that when somebody coughs up the right message, you're ending up with the biggest answer of all time. Do not think this is the discrimination. It's the Norfolk Railway that discriminated you. I will not hesitate to stay in check, what I will call checkmate, because the Norfolk Railway lost. The, the customers are starting to see the real you, not the employees as in general, but the volunteers as well. They're starting to work it all out. Wake up and smell a damn coffee because it's all written in black and white, right? You got to have to start realize, is it really worth working for them or work for a competitor that works better for you? Do you want a better atmosphere? Do you want a better equipped employers that you can work with, colleagues that you can work with, coordinate, and enjoy what you got? But when she mentioned about what it, Easter special being the best money maker, the Norfolk Railway let you down. It's one of those things you have to take in consideration. A lot of people think they've got the best interest in hearts for you, and there are a lot of people that can see things that you can't always see in the naked eye. When you're not on the platform or on the platform, you're still noticing it every day of your life. You've seen the actual thing that is making the railway bad as it is. So when somebody says stay away or be prepared to be disappointed, I take that as the best headline for the news or EDP or BBC News or Sky News, and they know everything under the radar. Why? Because it's all true. The North Norfolk Railway are not going to take it down or instantly think we screwed up. Correct. But are we going to blame all the employees? No. It's the management that didn't see it coming. Why? Because the management can't see what what did we do wrong that you could got corrected before Easter. Let's take Easter, right? I don't want every special event to go bloody wrong and give yourself even the baddest name on the planet, right? 8 billion people have to still go on that railway, right? Then you've got the regulars, right? So we know exactly what's going on up there. I don't need to be acknowledged all the time. But if I catch where I understand people, community is important. So a customer that comes onto your platform wants a decent price, not too high, not too low, just mediocre. You need to get the price right because a lot of people don't realise at the end of the day, what does the North Norfolk Railway offer you? Nothing. Because they just screwing it up, letting it, right? I can't jump in just yet. I'm waiting for it to be realised you're being outmatched, right? I'm on the customer side. I'm on the community side. I have to take everybody else's side except the management. Why? Because they screwed it up. So every day of your lives, you realise that the railway that was very popular during the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, and it's gone downhill, right? And that's not lie. So when you look at it and realise it's all true and it's been all written and it's in black and white in front of your eyes, take a snapshot, take a read, say, we've been hearing it's been a bad railway, we don't want to know you. Because in the day, they're losing money, right? But they're losing something else. And effectively, I've got always have a backup plan to solve problems, right? But it doesn't take one day to deal with it, right? I'm telling the community what is going on out there, what to watch out for, the the cons, the pros. the respect, the honesty, everything I mentioned in the last big long podcast. I acknowledge the community's response. I'm acknowledging what you need, not want. What do you want to gain from the day? What do you want, gain in this? What support do you need for this? And volunteers are going to get the same treatment because they need help to guide them. Then the management will end up saying we've been screwed because the North Norfolk Railway has just got its back controller. Right? The biggest gift of all time in history. You have to listen to me to understand what's going on. If you Every time people look up TripAdvisor, Facebook, Twitter, even that, and it's all coming unfoldingly and boom, 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 and it's all going through the way it should. But the thing is, the North Norfolk Railway will never appreciate what they got until they lose it. They will lose it eventually, but it won't be my fault. It won't be my former steam team G2 fleet before my G3 fleet third generation fleet goes in, and I'd be ready and I'd be prepared to take on what responsibilities required. But I will never abuse the community because the community has to see that what has just happened online or offline or in front of your eyes or ears, whatever, vice versa, and you're ending up the biggest package and realize somebody just cracked the headline that the Norfolk Railway is going to lose on because the community is starting to fight back and help me out. So if you want a best railway in Norfolk, don't always rely on the North Norfolk Railway because they're losing. So when you've got special events, special clearances, you need to say, are they going to keep to their word? The answer will always be no, because they don't know what was going to happen that day or what happens that yesterday. What they did wrong yesterday, they could be corrected it today, and then we correct everything else up. But they've got so much baggage underneath them that they're ending up losing what they gained. So they lost reviews, and it's all coming back negatively, right? TripAdvisor says the North Norfolk Railway is 4.5, right? Google reviews is like 2,000, which is a load of BS to a point, right? Then you got Facebook. That's trying to do the same scenario. Ping! But when you add up with all the pros and the cons and all of that, what has happened to the North Norfolk Railway since they booted everybody out in 2019? We go back to that date because that's all that year is because we're solving problems every day. I had a lot of accomplishments involved, and I'm not being disrespectful on this. This is why people have to be honest with the newspapers and say we're not the best railway. I know the management like to cover up under the tracks, right? But in reality, it's not helping them and saying we want the money, we want this. But to gain that, you need to get the community's respect. Respect is number one, and if you don't give it, you won't get it. So you've just got one, let's say, right, one customer just proving my point rather than just me mouthing off nearly for 2 hours straight. So reality is that stay away or be prepared to be disappointed because that's the headline that's gone on the newspapers. That's the headline that's stroking you, right? Graham makes a lame excuse, right? Right, I would not hesitate to say boom, boom, boof. Why? Because a customer needs, when she pays certain amount of money that was required at the time to have the best activity in the event in the whole of history, the North Norfolk Railway has lost it all on that time. Bank holiday and all, and they said, look, you might have one customer that says, no, this is not good. People are going to start noticing it with their eyes and ears. It's not about picture clicking or enjoying the day. It's what you're able to have that day. You know, sometimes one day could be, it's like saying, say for instance, you got all the railway heritage railways around the UK, right? One bad egg affects all. I learned that lesson the hard way as well. So don't say this is a load of BS because it isn't. So when one bad egg affects all, it will affect all. Right? A lot of people just think this is a load of B shit. Excuse my French. But it isn't. It's reality of what you're not seeing in front of you. And it's while I am sitting in my chair knowing this information for you, in the days the Norfolk Railway will end up to cease to exist. The name will be scarred as well as everybody else that got booted out. So the name, the Norfolk Railway itself, has been scarred. The name is useless. The Norfolk Railway is going to have to start fresh. Go from the bottom and work their way up. They're not going to do that overnight, that's for sure. They're going to have to start from 0 reviews and work their way up. Why? Because I want you to realise that one customer has just beaten you at your own game, including myself, of course. Because I actually want to make customers happy, not the other way round where they all sadden up and say this is a rubbish railway. We never got respected. We never done this. We've never done that. They say that what they say they're gonna do, they didn't do, and it goes backfiring. And then the customers start to really see the real Norfolk Railway for what it is now. Not not what happened in the 70s or the 80s or the 90s or the 2000s. It's all in 2019 onwards. So work it out. It's just really, really careful but clear crystal to everybody. Stay away or be prepared to be disappointed. That's the headline. This individual has made it quite clear, but she made it quite clear that it makes sense on everybody else. So when you feel like you've been complete and utter rip-off, she's commenting on that railway because that railway's been doing what it should not be doing. You know, when you advertise something, especially for Easter special, then you stick to the plan. Don't mess it up. Of course, the Norfolk Railway used to do Easter events and give out Easter eggs and so forth and everything else, and Day Out Thomas on top, in May, obviously. And now you're asking, that's gone. Where the hell are we going to do about it? The Norfolk Railway screwed themselves up. So when you look at it, when somebody just come out with one solution, better headline, better support, and tell the Norfolk Railway, stay away or be prepared to be disappointed. What a good headline. Why? Because that shows that the Norfolk Railway's true colours are showing up. I'm not going to ignore I'm not going to ignore the community and what their needs are, because their needs are more supportive, more considerate. But when they always on that platform, it doesn't matter if it's a he or a she, they will feed back on me because I'll be honest with them. Right? I totally agree on why a lot of customers are complaining in a lot of ways than one. Not compared to one individual that works on there and they replies back and says this is this and this and this and this and goes all BSing all the way down the line to try and say, right, oh that be sorted, I'm sorry for that, blah blah blah. Enough of the sorries. You gotta excuse the sorry part. This is where you have to financially you screwed up, grow up. Because there's a lot of it that's all accurate. I don't want people to think you are in the wrong. Not all the community are in the wrong. It's just bad management and bad employers. And when you got look, it's like you got to realise why it's unfolded in the way it is. Blah blah blah. Going down the line, people want people. People need what they were asked for. They don't. When you deal with Easter, Day Out Thomas, or any special event in the year, people will say the last time you had bad complaints, which I will make sure you get added in, right? It's Christmas time, right? You've got that Polar Express, which makes a load of bullshit, right? Cut that out. Be grateful for what you get on day out when you do Santa specials, because they are more important, right? But it's the money making issue that's that's making the problem. So you gotta gain the customer's trust, respect, honesty, and all of that. But when you deal with the whole community around the globe and you're actually talking to the individual face to face contact, you know exactly what's wrong. People will not have the bugs to give out the details straight away. The clues are always in the headlines. Clues are always in the written material. Clues are everywhere. Are you going to accept that type of behaviour from a Norfolk Railway to give you what you're supposed to be needing? They never gave you the need. They're basically saying, oh, it's Easter. It's just another special event. This is how they act, because they act stupidly. And they will end up messing up that Easter for you. Right? Dale Thomas was taken out when it should not been. Then you got all the regular stuff, right? Everything connects for a reason, but you just got to have that barrier and realise, why did this happen to us? The Norfolk Railway will start thinking now more than their intelligence that were given. So their thinking is not always best for the interest of the community. The community is their customers. The customers go on that station. Whatever. It's still, when you advertise stuff, make sure you give it to them. Because if you say, oh, we do an Easter hunt, egg hunt, and all of that, you stick to the plan you were dealing with. Don't, when you plan something before and it hasn't activated or you actioned it, as they say, then you've got to bloody understand if it's going to be possible. Have you heard of Go Far, where you do an achievement, you do a goal, you review it and action it, obviously, then it goes on and on and on, right? It makes sure that people realise when they go on that station, they need what they paid for and what you're giving them. When you when you got special events, right? If you said something to the management, this is what we're gonna do, throw it on their paper, and they approve it, right? You stick to the plan. You do not rush away and say, "Oh, well, we're gonna change it here and there and there and there and there," making knots and tails over yourselves. How stupid can you get? So then you break it down and you break it down and say, well, how can we improve it if we can't achieve this goal? So then you got to action it, review it, and all of that. Then it all comes to. But you have to focus first. The best key element is focus. Why? Because you have to stay focused on the job, focus on what the customer's needs are, what you actually plan ahead, and also that whatever you plan, stick to the plan. Don't bullshit and try and change it in it 5 seconds or 5 minutes before before the plan changes. Because now you lost customers, you lost reviews. You're now starting getting customers fighting back at you. So Mrs. X, who made this really good comment, made it quite clear and crystal, stay away or be prepared to be disappointed. You have been disappointed for 5 years as a whole. Same problems, same scenarios. Santa specials have become really uptight, thinking they know it all. And I said, you don't. You need to start saying, when you plan something, you obviously stick to that plan to a very high level degree. Sometimes People will respect you because they're in public eye. But when they're away from you, they don't actually respect you because you're respected is the other reverse. So when you think about it, people that work hard, play hard, do hard, and realise what is focused and what has been reviewed, what has been action wise, and everything else, it's all there black and white. So when you realise there is something more to this problem, the problem itself is that I get the memo, I get the review, I get the settlement to say, look, right, that's it. I'm getting fed up with North Norfolk Railway because they treated you like dirt. I don't want any of my customers or my communityists to say the same scenario, saying what a bad railway it is. It always comes back to that bad railway. And it always will be that bad railway because it's just trying to break everything in cycle. So the cycle is nearly broken. But you're broken up, but it's not my fault. Don't blame me because I'm only just giving you the wake up and smell of coffee routine. And it just really opens you up and realize, oh crud. He took, I took what is actually in need and make sure the customers are getting what they need. But I don't want to go empty handed to say, look at your reviews. You commenting, you're reviewing it, you're saying thank you very much, piss off, excuse my French, but it can be. You get people that go on the internet and they comment you back and review you back like a report card, if you like to call it, and they say things like out of ordinary, that 19th century, blah 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 blah. I said it's not about the liberty; it's about understanding what you give them, right, and what you plan ahead beforehand and what event you're going to do, how you're going to plan your event. Stick to the plan. Don't mess it up within the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever, and then you're ending up with a bad review because certain people are starting to fight back. So if you think I'm on the North Norfolk Railway side, no, I'm on the community side because they're the ones they tell me. Why? Because I ended up finding out clues and answers that can't always be explained to you. But reality, if you want a good, decent railway, right, North Norfolk Railway is not the option. They already given themselves a bad name. So when you look in the sky, or you look on the news, or you look on the EDP, or you look at the reviews that's starting to come in quite clearly, people are getting paid off because they're getting the disrespect they don't need. Right? The price, I told people, money isn't the option right now. What you got to do, you're at the bottom of the food chain trying to build it back up. But you're not going to get it straight away on the day. So you work it out. So what I say that a lot of people know this is the right podcast for you because you're understanding the protocols they have to go through to get the chain, the reviews, the actual what action they act and they review it. Right? Act means like they do it and they review it and then bang. And then if they've got the bad result, that's it. Game over for them. Right? So you need to prioritize and realize when I step onto that platform or I see people saying we want better service, we want this and that, you've got to show that you can do it and not the other way. It's like somebody says, like a lot of people say, there's no word as such as I can't, right? That's the thing you got to have in your head. There's no word as such as I can't. Why? Because I'm proving to the point I'm on the community side, not on the Norfolk Railway side. Why? Because I look at what I see is what I get. Why? I don't like disrespect. That's why I have less cut. passengers on this platform, as example, the community as a whole, and they look at it logically and realize he's taking responsibility. I like this man, or I like this, the fat controller. I like Stephen Topham Hatt the third. Yes, I'm here. I'm alive and well. The only problem is I'm not bullshitting down because I'm taking responsibility of the North Norfolk Railway's actions always. So when you think about it, what is gonna benefit you in next year? Let's take North Norfolk Railway 5 years from now, right? They could go downhill, right? As they could do, right? And a lot of problems will start merging and popping up as they do. They try to sweep it under the carpet and leave me to clear it all up, right? I'm not a cleaner, no. I'm a businessman. I know exactly how the customers should be treated with highest respect. But I said the North Norfolk Railway is not a what you call a model railway, right? That costs a lot cheaper in the long run. No. So if you think people are going to spend £100, I just got my result that I needed to tell you that the customers are not willing to pay above 50 quid. You're going to have to prioritise. And if you can't prioritise, get out of the building. The management is the key element problem, like I stated in the last podcast. They've always been a problem, right? It's not the customer's fault. It's not always the employee's fault. It's not the volunteer's fault. They just cannot get it in their fixed goals to work it out that they were in the wrong. They made a mistake. They slipped up. But the management plans this. The employees act it, and then they review it at the end. So what happened? Ask yourself away. Somebody just proven my damn point to say you either stay away or be prepared to be disappointed. Big headline for the EDP and the North Norfolk News to say, look, that the North Norfolk Railway failed on you. And I just got my verdict from from one of the community's slash customers. Now, that's the best headline you can ever see online. And it's a big, big catch because a lot of people will respect that because that's realistic. And a lot of people may have contributed to this and a lot of that, and then going forward and then review it and then everything else. But down the line, the in the day, the biggest downfall of all of this is it's the management, the admin team. They don't think straight. They don't think about it in a coffee. It's all about money making, right? People like 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 the customer at the point at the time saying, I can find a better place to go to than paying that type of sort of money in front of you. That's what she's trying to establish with the North Norfolk woman. Because she can't, or he or she, bang! And then you're ending up with that bloody problem. And you're going to end up with that problem until you realise you were in the wrong, not her, or or any customer for that matter. So realistically, when I'm catching you all out one by one, I'm helping the community to help you realise what you lost is because of the respect you've given them or the plan, the events that you play out, right? I know what the customers need. And when they realise that it's all there in black and white, who comes out clean? In the day, you'll end up with one big thing, right? And it's realistic as it gets. So when you realise this is not a dream, Dorothy, as they say, this is reality of it. And a lot of it is reality. You're not going to get nothing more, but you've got to see the bigger picture. When people can start complaining, that's it. North Norfolk Railway get a game over. There's game on, game off. And their game is off for the North Norfolk Railway because the game is over. Why I'm telling them to grow up or leave the building because there's nothing there to hold on to at this moment. So while you got bad reviews, bad publicity since 2019, work it all out. You had a problem in the major lockdown issue, which I won't go into detail. But the reality, you screwed up when you reopened. So there you go. It's all there in black and white, in it, in the silver platter. People appreciated the railway in its prime. They appreciated the railway for what it was standing for in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s, right into 2016. When they hit the 2016, that's where it all went downhill for the North Norfolk Railway and its prime and everything else. I never seen people or admin team, if you like to call it, or management, to feel like what they done this year for you was wrong. You know, you're entitled to have your money back if you want your money back. And said this is not worth paying, which I probably agree with. But down the line, ding, 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 it adds up. So the facts are there, the reality of it is there, and then ending up being on the bottom line that the North Norfolk Railway will end up failing. So when you think the North Norfolk Railway needs improvement, I probably agree. They need improvement in certain areas. Yes, of course, they need this. Of course, the customers need this. But then you got to balance it out, bing, balla, boom, left, right, and centre, to realise when you promise a customer something, have half the North Norfolk Railway actually promised you that? When they promise you something and they don't actually do it, then it changes the record overall. You know, it's like I said, they piss people about too many times. You know, it's not 60, it's not 70, it's all of them, right? Because they've got to take the whole world plus the community that lives in our community area. We have an obligation to put things right here to say, look, you either do this correctly or you're out. Because you've got to look at the bigger picture. It's not a game of choice. It's about understanding what the community needs rather than the wants. And when it comes to want, right, to get what you want, you got to learn what people's needs are, what they need from you, what you're giving them, what you actually expect from them. And this is not a game anymore. This is not a race. This is reality of everything you see unfold. And when the EDP, the newspapers, and all of that, they're going to find that, what? This is what we don't dig into? Now dig in harder. Because now it's getting very hard now where you want respect for everything. But the North Norfolk Railway is not going to get that. Why? Ask yourself this question, right? We know a lot of heritage railways out there, and I'm not lying about this one. And why is Scotland and Wales getting the better treatment? Ask yourself the very question. Why is Norfolk being disrespectful? The railway itself, I'm talking about in general, getting that, getting, getting, getting nothing, while the Scotland and Wales are getting everything. Ask yourself that question. Why do you think there is more to it than you thought you knew? And realise that the North Norfolk Railway won't give you anything you need because they will never put it. They won't think about that. They think about the money. The money's not always the case around it. You know, that's a 5 mile trip, which would have cost you a lot cheaper because you're not going to Cromer to Norwich, and that's like £6. That's £12 overall for one person each time. But then you've got a child's ticket on top of that. But when you look down the line and realise we're only doing 5 miles each way, that's 10. That's 10 miles return, right? You need to start realise, okay, we screwed up. the management will realise that now they screwed up. They got a bollocking there enough, and they got told off because they've been caught out. Right? People that use TripAdvisor to give out the acknowledging about the review is, it's impossible to say. No, it's not impossible. The problem is she came out with the truth and she acknowledged it to the Norfolk way. Why? Because she wasn't impressed of the actual service she was given. The service is what builds people up, but not their hopes. Their hopes is to have a good day, enjoy themselves. But when you got Easter Sunday and Friday and Saturday at the time and a bank holiday on top, people expect more than what they are paying for because in the day they could save their money and go to another attraction. And then Norfolk Railway will be lost out because they lose out very, very badly. So when you look back and realise it's all happened all in truth, the way I needed it to play out, I said, no, it's my turn. Let's get this game off the board and start fresh, get the management out, clear the deck, and make it right because the people want to go to the North Norfolk Railway. They need to go to the North Norfolk Railway for their own transport. Yes, I totally agree. But when you do special events and acknowledging what you need, not want, and it's all there in black and white. But then a lot of people say, "Oh, the management want this and this." They have to earn it, and I keep saying it to people these days. Respect has to be earned. Acknowledging what's around that, and making sure people often rely on the internet to a little degree. Yes, but there are a lot of people that say, "Yes, I find this is to be a bad railway." And that's the reason why I now acknowledging it to you because there's not a lot of wrong in it. There's just a lot of wrong because the North Norfolk where they can't see it within themselves. They had to be shown by somebody else higher up, checking reviews, checking everything. I do everything by the book as it states. So if there's bad reviews coming in, I take and acknowledge what it is. So if you feel like there's a lot more missing in your life or you're missing out on something that should be popular, ask yourself from 1970s all the way to 2019, you had the best railway there was in Norfolk, right? Then 2016, they screwed up slowly. They didn't show it to me first of all. So they got sneaky entering the building take over where the previous management was dealing with. And they sneakily booted everyone else from the second generation, including myself, slowly. Why? So they don't get noticed. That's why the web cameras were offline. This is why the customers are complaining about bad prices, bad customer bad service in general to say this has been a lovely day for us. And when they've been told there will be certain things happening on that day or that month or this time of year, you're ending up with the biggest problem of all right in front of you. And somebody just made it quite clear and crystal on you. So the headline of the North Norfolk Railway today is stay away or be prepared to be disappointed. Because they've just proven their point. Proven the customers have proved their point straight from the horse's mouth. So, in the end of the day, when you want something bad enough, the North Norfolk Railway will end up realising they're slipping. And if they keep slipping, the rest of the diesel team will fall out of place. This is why I said all the management at that on that railway will end up knowing and acknowledging that they made a mistake. That mistake has to be recorrected. Doesn't matter how past back tense it is. You fix the problem you created for yourself. It started in 2016 and it's still going on. The more longer it holds up, the harder it will be on you. So stop screwing up, start prioritizing, look at your events, make sure what you say is what you're going to give to the customers because the customers will have a lot of feedback to give back to you. And they will end up realizing it's a bad way, or this has been a good day, this has been a bad day. Then you're going to have to realize the reviews are not the problem. It's how much people appreciated it in the first place to make it worthwhile to know where everybody stands on the line. But since 2016, all the way to this day, the railway has seen its darkest hour. And that's why you can't see it, but I did. I picked up on things, stars, signs, signals, posts, you name it, even that. But reality, the North Norfolk Railway management of today screwed up. So if you've got an event in any angle, doesn't matter if it's from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, stick to the plan. Get realistic because what you, well, I, in the end of the day, you're gonna end up summoning me up there to recorrect the problem myself, and I will recorrect the problem. I'm not gonna let you run down the hill and say, why is the North Norfolk Railway failing? Why are we all going down there? Why are they not coming, no customers? Because the customers are now thinking on their 2 feet and learning the truth, the facts, the logic. And what you're doing is covering up the tracks. And that's why it's always been in front of you. Anyway, I better get going. But that's the facts, that's the truth, that's the logic. Thank you very much.